I'm Todd White. I'm with Charlotte Lanehart Electric. I am the construction manager for our Charlotte division. We are a individual incorporated in the Charlotte division. We do have 11 other cities that we're in that are individual incorporated also with owners at different levels in each city. We did last year right at 1,200 homes, and we're on pace to hit 1,500 homes this year. So we do residential, new construction, electrical installs. I've been doing electrical for 28 years. I'm a licensed electrician. I took some technical classes in electrical while I was working in warehousing and used that as a stepping stone to electrical, which is not needed. It helps for the theory of electrical, but we are actually able to bring people on without that. We can take straight out of high school and train them. When I started with Lanehart Electric in Atlanta, I was a helper, what we call a green helper apprentice, and learned on the job. Within 8 months of that training, on-the-job training, moved to running a truck, which we call a lead man or apprentice. Within 2 years, went from running a truck to actually supervising crews. For me, a typical day, between answering emails and overseeing, I have 80 employees. I have 4 crew supervisors that report to a construction manager. That I look at our daily schedule with my construction manager. I have an office manager that we go over responses to schedules, warranty. I have a warehouse manager that orders material, and we oversee our material that we order on a monthly basis. And also I bid out new work, reading blueprints and doing takeoffs to bid out new work. My job base is making sure we obviously have the material to deliver, make sure we have the labor in place to do the jobs that we've promised that we would do on time, making sure that our guys are trained so that we can complete tasks and jobs and inspections, that our office is getting the billing through and getting paid on accounts receivable, and answering emails and questions from our existing customers that may want to change scopes or change product, and reviewing that and educating them on products. As far as the template for a residential construction build goes, when the lot is staked off and they're starting to scrape dirt at the very beginning, we'll be called out to install a temporary pole, and locally they call it a saw pole, which provides power to that job site during the construction. So at the very beginning, we'll set that temporary pole and get an inspection, and then the process will proceed with the house framing. And right after plumbing and HVAC, we come in and do what is called a rough-in, where we actually install the wiring, the boxes, the panel, and everything. All right, here in the kitchen, you can see the receptacles that we've located. This, you can see the ice maker line. This is our fridge location receptacle. The circuit will come in here, it's tied together, and then it has a feed out, which will go into the countertop receptacles, which you see they're mounted horizontal. The reason we mount them horizontal, for tile backsplash, most of the designers select a tile backsplash that has a pattern in it. And so we mount these horizontals to keep out of that pattern. Homeowners are paying good money for a pattern in their tile, and the last thing they want to see is a receptacle intruding into the nice design of their tile. What you're not seeing here is the kitchen cabinets marked out, but we have a code that we follow on the countertops. This would be the end by the refrigerator, so within 2 feet of the end of that, we have to have a receptacle located. And then beyond that 2 feet, the next receptacle should fall within 4 feet. So you're 2 feet from the end, 4 feet, and then you keep going around. This one will be within 4 feet, 4 feet. And then you get into your range location where this cabinet will stop here. So then we got to be 2 feet from this end also, so forth. There's a cabinet there. We run a wire in the wall here that we pull out. This is going to be a microwave vent hood combo that will be over the range. Once this cabinet's installed, the cabinet installer will cut out an opening for us to install a box in the cabinet for the microwave to be hung, plugged in. Then you'll see the switch boxes here. This switch box here has a switch that operates the kitchen recess can lighting, and it also has a switch that goes to the coach light to the back. They'll be operated here. We have a height that's determined. All the switches will be located at that height. And this is what would be called a 2-gang. There'll be 2 switches in here that we'll install at the trim stage. And then after that's complete, the house moves through sheetrock and paint cabinets, and then we'll call back in on our final process, which is the trim out, where we install receptacles, switches, light fixtures, and the breakers in the panel. Our rough-in process on an average house is a 2-day process. I before mentioned the 12,000 square foot, which could go on for weeks, but our average house that we do in the Charlotte market is a 2-day to rough in, and then in the trim, it's a 2-day process. A student coming in and starting Charlotte Lanehart Electric would obviously start in the field as a electrician's helper. We have a program where we can actually purchase the tools, which is about $200 worth of tools, and we payroll deduct them over maybe 5 checks for them. They start out usually around $12 an hour. Sometimes that seems lower than what other companies are hiring for, but we're training. So you're not paying for a school and then trying to get a job. You're actually training on the job while you're doing it, which leads to, if you pick it up and start to turn production, then you get increases from that. And we don't have a set date to do evaluations. We do them as the progression. They're getting the job right. They're listening. We're not having to repeat instructions to those as they learn. And the number one thing is show up. Be there on time. We promote from within, so we take those helpers, and I tell every helper that works for me that I want their goal to be running a truck as a lead man, to run a crew, and that ambition should be in all the helpers I have. I don't want a career helper at $14, $15 an hour. I want them to progress. And the same, once they get into being a lead man and journeyman, I want them to want to be a supervisor and learn and train and understand the complete process that we have so that they can advance. All of my supervisors have been helpers and lead men within the company. What I like about the construction industry and residential mainly is it's something different every day. It's a different house. We do entry-level size homes, 1,200 square foot ranches, up to 8,000 to 12,000 square foot $1 million homes. So what we see on a daily basis is never the same. I think the satisfaction of my job is what I talk to my guys about and get them to understand is we're helping a homeowner achieve homeownership. I always tell them the single largest purchase that any family or person can do is purchase a home, and we're part of that. At the end of the day, we deliver that for that homeowner.